everyone, welcome to the LisaBug Fitness and Yoga Fitness Assessment Series. Today what I have for you is the YMCA Sit and Reach Test. I'll let you know how to set that up so you can administer it for you at home. So all you need is a stable surface to sit on and a tape measure. So what we do is we take a piece of tape and measure 10 inches wide and mark it down on the floor. So I have a 10-inch piece of masking tape here, 10 inches long. That's where the distance will be for your feet as you're sitting for this sit and reach test. Then you take a measuring tape and you set it down so the 15-inch mark is at that piece of tape. So 15 inch mark. The 1-inch mark is this direction, and then the rest of the measuring tape goes that direction. So what you'll be doing is sitting with your feet on the 10-inch piece of tape, so that dictates how far apart your feet are, and then you'll be reaching out along that distance of the measuring tape to take your reading for your flexibility. So this test measures the general flexibility of your posterior chain. So that's all the way from your hamstrings down through your calf muscles and Achilles tendon, even the bottoms of your feet, and then up toward your low back and mid back. So that entire posterior chain is going to lengthen as we stretch forward. Before you administer this test for yourself, it's important that you be well stretched. So this isn't a cold test. We don't want to just sit down and take our flexibility measurement cold. So you want to do a gentle warm up, maybe lift your knees, do some knee lifts, some leg raises, some kicks, so that you just gently warm up through your lower body, maybe even some rotation, reaching above the head. So we want to just warm up the entire body a little bit. Maybe spend about 3 to 5 minutes just with some light movement for your body. After that, you've warmed up, you want to spend another 3 to 5 minutes stretching your posterior chain. So your hamstrings, your low back, your calves. So you can do some standing stretches for your calves. And these can be dynamic. You can hold them for a period of time so that you can get your calves to stretch by flexing the ankle. We can bring it down onto our back and do some knees to chest so that we can stretch a little bit through the upper hamstring and glute. And of course, these are just options for you to stretch, but you'll be holding them for as long as you'd like. We can do a reclining hamstring stretch, bringing the leg up. You can use a yoga strap or a belt to assist this by holding it around the bottom of your foot. And then you can also do some seated hamstring stretches where you're sitting up, reaching forward, perhaps one leg in. So these are all stretches that we typically do in LisaBug classes. So once you've spent 3 to 5 minutes warming up, 3 to 5 minutes stretching everything out, now is the time you feel all nice and ready to do your assessment. So this is done barefoot, and we want to bring our feet that 10 inches apart on the width of the tape. It's important that you have your feet flexed. So even if you might have a chair that you can put your feet up against, some chair legs, that would be nice to help you keep your feet flexed, or you can just do that on your own. So we don't want to point the toes down. So flex the feet up. Your legs are straight, maybe a slight micro bend in the knees. And you want to be sure when you're doing this assessment that you don't let your knees pop up and bend. So we want them straight. We don't want them to be locked out. So when we do our assessment, you want to sit up tall on your sitting bones. So I kind of rock the flesh a little bit side to side. So I'm sitting straight up, nice and tall. And then we take the hands and we place one hand on top of the other. So I have my right hand on top of my left. What this is going to do is balance out our shoulders to keep this square. So if we reach this way, sometimes we'll twist and we'll reach a little farther with one hand than the other. So we want to keep ourselves balanced in our body. So we take usually at least 3 tries for this assessment. You can use someone to help you measure the tape if you can't see where your hands are on the floor. And some of you that are really flexible, you're going to be way out here and not able to see where your fingertips are touching. So have someone help you to measure this tape so you can administer it. So we have our hands balanced. We place our fingertips down on the tape. Now if you're really tight in your hamstrings, you might not even be able to reach the tape. So if you're here and you can't even get your fingertips down to the tape, then you might have a negative measurement, backing yourself up from that beginning of your tape. Move my leg here so that you can see it, because I want to start at the 0 mark, or around 1. So some of you might not be able to even reach that, and that's okay, but I want you to measure that negative number so you can see where you're at and how your improvements are. So hands are stacked, we sit up tall, hands come down to the tape, we take a breath in, and as you exhale fully, start to slide your hands down the tape as far as you can. I can see where my fingertips are. It looks like that's about a 20. And you want to be able to hold it there for a second. And then slide it back up and take a break. Now you can put the other hand on top too and see if you kind of get that same measurement roughly, or you can keep the same hand on top. So for most people, you're able to go a little bit further each time from that first measurement. That's why we take at least 3 attempts. You're not going to average the 3. You're going to take the best of the 3 readings. So then we prepare again after we have time to relax, lengthen the spine, bring the fingertips down to the tape, make sure your feet are flexed, your knees aren't bent up. Take a breath in. Exhale slowly and completely as you slide your fingers down that tape as far as you can go. If you can't see the measurement, allow somebody to take that for you. I'm at 22 that time. So we come up and we take a break. So we want to be sure that we can hold it for a second, because sometimes we push and go like that, and that's not really our flexibility. We don't want to do a quick ballistic stretch. We want to go nice and smooth and be able to hold it there, knowing that is our flexibility without bending our knees. All right, let's try that 3rd measurement. Let's see if I can get a little bit further this time. Stack the hands, inhale. Exhale slowly. Keep moving those fingers as far as we can possibly go. Check your reading. I'm at about 22 3/4 for my final measurement, so that's the one I'm going to take. So I am going to be attaching the norms for this assessment later on in the notes of this recording, so that you can see how you did in comparison with your age groups. Those of you that take my LisaBug classes on a regular basis, I can send you by email or text the form that you can see where your flexibility is, but it's not as important to compare yourself against other people in your age group. What I want you to do is jot this number down, and then we're going to be reassessing about 6 months down the road. That's a good time limit to practice and to work on your flexibility. We'll test again and then see how much you have improved. So those of you that are taking my classes, give me a buzz if you have any questions on this assessment. We'll go over it slightly in class too as well. Thanks a bunch. I'll see you next time. Take care.